I formally hand over to you, sir, the keys to all this equipment. Thank you, Your Excellency. I wish you a very successful campaign. Let us pray to God for a transformative rainy season and bountiful harvests. May you achieve every objective you have set for this year. Today, Sunday, May 25, 2025, we stand beneath the wide sky of Bobo Dioulasso, where an event of historic proportions unfolded under the leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traore, President of Faso. On May 22, 2025, he announced an unprecedented investment exceeding 104 billion CFA francs to equip and empower our agro-pastoral communities. Behind this figure lies a promise: to bridge the gap between aspiration and achievement, to propel Burkina Faso toward food self-sufficiency, and to uplift the lives of every rural family. In this article, we will journey through each element of that commitment, explore how these resources will reshape our fields and our futures, and hear the voices of farmers and artisans whose destiny is now intertwined with this vision. At the heart of any harvest lies the seed. Captain Traoré set an ambitious goal: 20,000 tons of certified seed to distribute to producers at the start of each season. This year, despite logistical and climatic constraints, 15,000 tons have already been secured. Research institutes and private seed companies have worked around the clock, accelerating production lines, ensuring quality standards, and training local growers in seed multiplication techniques. Though some regions still await delivery, contingency plans are in place to reach the full 20,000-ton target next season. Farmers like Naba Uwoba, who tends his millet fields on the high plateaus, tell us that access to improved seed has already boosted germination rates and early vigor, promising yields up to 30% higher than traditional varieties. But seed alone cannot sustain a thriving farm. Livestock feed and aqua feed were the next pillars of the investment. Agro-industrial byproducts, rice bran, maize offal, cottonseed cake, have been formulated into balanced rations for cattle, sheep, and goats. A fleet of trucks delivered 1,580 tons of fish feed to communities around Bagre and Samandeni dams, where cage culture initiatives have taken root. By halving our fish meal imports and scaling up local feed production, fishermen like Aissata Zongo can now stock floating cages with native tilapia fingerlings, reducing dependence on expensive imported pellets. Early harvests already show significant cost savings, enabling producers to sell surplus at local markets and reinvest in improved nets and oxygenation systems. Fertilizers were another cornerstone. 70,000 tons of mineral fertilizers, an increase of 10,000 tons over last year, will be sold to farmers at heavily subsidized rates. Thanks to a new contract farming mechanism, SONEGES will purchase harvests at agreed prices, creating a stable cycle of supply, use, and storage. Throughout the country, specially constructed warehouses stand ready to preserve cereal stocks, avoiding the feast or famine cycles of past years. Educators from the National Institute of Agronomy have been dispatched to demo plots, showing farmers the correct placement of NPK blends and the benefits of microdosing techniques. In regions like the Suru Valley, where banana plantations border irrigated rice paddies, the contrast between subsidized fertilizer plots and unfed fields is stark. Lush green leaves unfurl in the enhanced plots, while the others struggle under the tropical sun. Veterinary health has not been overlooked. Through the operationalization of the CAM-T program, state veterinary drugs and vaccines are now distributed at controlled costs, safeguarding herds against foot and mouth, pasteurellosis, and other endemic diseases. Plans are underway to establish public veterinary clinics at regional centers, ensuring that even the most remote breeders can access essential treatments. Mobile vaccination teams, equipped with solar-powered cold chain boxes, have already reached nomadic Fulani herders on the move, protecting their flocks and preventing disease outbreaks that once decimated entire herds. Modern technology took to the skies and fields as well. Drone sprayers buzzed above trial plots at the University of Koudougou, applying precise doses of pesticide and fungicide to maize and groundnut test beds. Their success has spurred procurement of additional units, complemented by manual backpack sprayers distributed to cooperatives of women farmers. These tools are vital in anticipating locust invasions and other pest emergencies. Forecasting models from the National Meteorological Service Guide, spraying schedules, minimizing crop losses, and ensuring environmental safeguards remain in place. To turn crop residues into resources, multifunctional shredders have been delivered to communal workshops. No longer will stalks and husks be burned. Instead, they are transformed into silage and bedding for livestock. Smallholder farmers in the Koo Valley, who once watched their fields smolder after harvest, now feed their sheep and goats nutrient-rich fodder during the dry season, improving weight gains and dairy yields. Artisans in Ouagadougou have even developed hand-cranked chippers, ensuring that even villages without reliable electricity can process residues into animal feed. Processing capacity for value-added products also received a boost. Orange-fleshed sweet potato processing units, designed and built by local metalworkers, are now in the hands of women's cooperatives in Banfora and Boromo. These machines peel, slice, and fry tubers into nutrient-rich chips, providing a shelf-stable snack that addresses vitamin A deficiency in children. Nearby, cashew nut shelling and roasting kits allow small enterprises to upgrade raw nuts into ready-to-eat kernels, capturing a larger share of export revenues. By moving up the value chain, communities can increase their earnings and retain more profits within Burkina Faso. Infrastructure and logistics were not forgotten. Over 1,500 new motorcycles, chosen for durability and fuel efficiency, have been allocated to agricultural extension agents, slashing the time it takes to visit farmers in distant villages. At regional directorates, a convoy of refrigerated trucks now stands ready to collect perishable produce, milk, meat, vegetables from remote collection points, ensuring quality and reducing post-harvest losses. Mechanization brigades, each equipped with tractors, tillers, small combine harvesters, and maintenance toolkits, are embedded in provincial offices offering plowing and harvesting services at transparent rates. In the northern Sahel, where land preparation once required weeks of manual labor, these brigades have cut turnaround times by more than half, allowing farmers to plant and harvest on optimal calendars. Water management underpins all of these efforts. Sonatra and ONAB have ramped up dam rehabilitation projects. Boulébé Dam was dredged to restore 150,000 cubic meters of capacity. On the Goulouré site, embankments were reinforced, expanding water retention from 80,000 cubic meters to 800,000 cubic meters. New boreholes and solar-powered pumps dot the southern plains, providing reliable irrigation for market gardens. Tractor and tiller-mounted pumps deliver up to 200 cubic meters per hour, converting formerly marginal land into productive fields. The installation of floating cage fish farms on Samandeni and Bagre reservoirs not only diversifies incomes, but also creates synergies. Fish waste enriches adjacent rice paddies, closing nutrient loops and enhancing soil fertility. Mechanics and artisans form the backbone of this transformation. Workshops in Zignaré and Combasiri have been retooled to fabricate replacement parts for tractors and pumps, reducing downtime and import costs. Technical training programs, conducted in partnership with vocational schools, are certifying hundreds of young mechanics each year. When spare parts for imported tractors proved scarce, local welders and machinists stepped in, adapting designs and ensuring that 95% of machines remain operational across all regions. These homegrown solutions epitomize resilience and ingenuity, a Pan-African ethos in action. The human dimension of these investments cannot be overstated. We spoke with farmers and cooperative leaders who described, in their own words, how these tools and inputs are changing lives. Mariam Sawadogo, president of a women's millet processing cooperative, told us that subsidized fertilizer and motorized threshers cut her workload by 2/3, allowing her to take her daughters to school instead of spending dawn until dusk in the fields. Ibrahim Traoré, a cattle herder in the Tapoa province, expressed relief that veterinary clinics could now treat his herd's parasitic infections, dramatically reducing mortality rates among newborn calves. Youth engagement is a recurring theme. With the country's median age at just 17, young people see agriculture not as a backbreaking past, but as a field of opportunity. Mechanization brigades and input supply chains have created thousands of jobs: drivers, mechanics, drone pilots, warehouse managers, transforming agriculture into a high-tech sector. Pilot projects in digital agriculture, mobile apps for weather alerts, market price updates, and input tracking are being tested in Kadiogo and Hué regions, empowering the next generation to farm smarter and more profitably. Behind every tractor plowing the red earth, every drone tracing geometric patterns above millet fields, every cluster of solar panels powering a pump, there is a story of partnership between government and private sector, between research institutions and farmers, between traditional chiefs and youth associations. This complex web of collaboration is the true engine of our rural renaissance. As we reflect on the 192 billion CFA francs invested this year in equipment, inputs, infrastructure, and land development, we see more than numbers on a ledger. We see families rising from subsistence toward prosperity, communities forging solidarity around common projects, a nation weaving food security into its very identity. The goal of food self-sufficiency is no longer a distant dream, but an attainable horizon, framed by dams that glisten in the sun, fields that wave with abundant grain, and the confident voices of a new generation of farmers who will feed Burkina Faso and beyond. In this unfolding story, Captain Ibrahim Traoré's leadership has acted as a catalyst, but the real heroes are the rural men and women who wake before dawn, embrace challenges, and nurture the land that sustains us all. Their hands in the soil, their hands on the machinery, their hands shaping solutions. This is the heartbeat of our nation. As harvest season approaches, we will watch yields rise. We will celebrate market stalls filled with local produce. And we will measure not only tons of grain. This is the heartbeat of our nation. As harvest season approaches, we will watch yields rise. We will celebrate market stalls filled with local produce, and we will measure not only tons of grain, but also the rise in rural incomes, the shrinkage of poverty, and the expansion of opportunity. The path to food sovereignty is paved with labor, innovation, and unwavering commitment. Today, in Bobo Dioulasso, we have taken a giant step forward. Tomorrow, when we reap the fruits of this collective effort, we will know that Burkina Faso has charted its own destiny, that our fields feed our people, and that our future belongs to those who dared to invest in the soil, our most precious resource.